them to holler. I need them to holler back at us. What's up, India?
The
What's
doors
up?
of the Love Church are now open. Dear world, you name it, we cover it from the world of singles to the behind the scenes of the greatest movie ever filmed, called Marriage. We dig into everything from dating 101. Why won't they commit? It's complicated. I can't do it if it's the three of us. They're a good person, but I'm not attracted to them in that way. 2, they really didn't disclose who they were before I said I do. How do I do this if they can't keep a job? The bills are paid, but the bedroom is suffering. Did I marry you or did I marry your family because we only can take care of us? Let's open up our marriage. Why do I have to buy into your beard gang illusion? You could have told me you were down low and we could have remained friends and not married. And last but not least, did you marry me or your pastor? Have we gotten your attention yet? If so, tune in to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio, Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, if you want to hear more of today's real issues in the world of love. The doors of the Love Church are now open.
All right. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. I'm your host, Charles Dixon, and I'm here with Mr. Adam Ford, my illustrious co-host. How are you, sir?
What's up, fam? Not too bad. Not too bad. You know, just trying to deal with this cold weather out here in this daggone Chicago land, out here in this northern suburb of Chicago, man. It's cold out here. It's cold in these streets.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, I don't miss the cold amongst other things. But anyway, so all right. So
wait a minute.
Today,
other things.
No, whatever. Listen, today. Oh, really quickly. I try to update us every week. Mm-hmm. So I'm at the barbershop, right?
Oh, Lord, not the ongoing escapade.
Dude, I had to say to him today, because he when it's he and I talking, he ripping her to shreds. Like so I asked him, I said, so is everything okay? Is it getting a little bit better? Yeah, it's a little bit better. Then he says, better for her. He says better for her. He said because she still always got to have a lot of attitude, talking back, being smart, and he's fine. He let him tell it. I'm the one trying to do all these things for her to keep her content, right? Okay. Now, here's the part that took me by surprise that I totally forgot to tell y'all last week.
Okay.
He told me last week, could I help him come up with a great proposal? I said, for what? He said he was thinking about proposing to her on New Year's Eve. This is what he said last week. He said this last week. And I said, you was going to propose to her on New Year's Eve. I said, you have to think about that one. I said, first we got to do some more talking, but we had to think about that one. He said, I would appreciate it though. He said, because I'm not that creative and come up with something. I said, so you're really, really serious about this? And he said, yeah. I said, but the thing that confuses me is you're serious, but you're conflicted.
Right.
You don't sound convinced.
Right.
Any man that gets married needs to be convinced, not conflicted, right? Don't be conflicted or confused because now you asking for some problem. So today he says to me, we were literally in the middle of the cut, and he told me, he said, hold on, let me put my buds in my ear because she called him. And so he said, I'm in the middle of cutting. He said, I got the razor in my hand right now and I'm cutting. He was like, so he said, so you got to give me a minute. And so whatever she kept saying, he said, but I told you I got the razor in my hand. Then he said, I'm sorry, Charles, hold on 1 second. He left out the barbershop, went outside for about at least 5, 6, 7 minutes, came back in. And I said, is everything all right? He said, yeah, man. He said, I just always had an attitude problem. And I said, so why was she outside? I had to give her something. I said, but did she know you at work? Yeah, but she said, I'm tired of waiting. I've been out here 30 minutes. And I said, well, why she ain't just come in and get whatever you was going to get? She ain't feel like it. But I said, but she do know she came to your job, correct? He said, yeah. I said, I'm just trying to get you to see a point here. So I said, if you at work, you at work. And you just need to state that. You at work. And okay, whatever you need from me, come get it or give me a second. But I'm not going to mess up my business to fight with you, right? So, he said all that. And so I just told him, I said, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like to put my mouth on people's sensitive situations, especially ones where you talk about getting married, right? But I said, but you cannot ignore the fact that it constantly feels like you are fighting to keep rather than loving to maintain. It's a difference. And I said, it sounds like each week it's a fight going on to some degree, because you seem like you're giving, but you're not getting.
Right.
So I said, that is a huge telltale sign. And it is one that you need to pay attention to over the horizon, because it's not going to change.
Yeah.
You know, if you giving and not getting, you're going to give and not get on the other side. So you got to think about that. Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know, this is not the topic for today, but we got to talk about this. We got to break this down.
All right.
And I want to start out by saying this. I want to start out by saying the fact that I understand where the brother is.
Yes.
His heart is wrapped up, tied up in who she is. He is all in with her. He wants this to work. You know what I'm saying? He is bonded to her. He is imprinted on her. He wants this to work. That is his desire. That is his dream.
Yeah, he loves her.
He wants to. You're right. He loves her. He loves her. He is in love with her. Okay. He wants this to work by any means necessary.
Yeah.
She could care less.
Yeah. As long as he's doing what he's doing to keep things going, she content. But if he stops it, that prepaid service is going to get cut off.
Right. And again, she has not shown any intent in terms of actually being for him and on his side. When crises have come and problems have risen ahead, and when other people have said negative things about him, against him, to her, she has agreed with them. She has not taken up his defense. She has not done anything for him. So I'm trying to figure out.
It upsets me every week. I'm in the chair. It upsets me because he's a nice guy. He's funny. He got a lot of personality. But I be like, man, it's like I say to myself, we often, men and women, we allow ourselves to sit in things that cause us a lot of grief, rather than nothing is perfect, right? You're not going to have a perfect relationship. You're not going to never not have disagreements or see things one way or another. But it doesn't have to be a consistent pain. Like, no one wants to live on this earth with a toothache every day.
Right.
You want some relief, right? So that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
My thing is, why do I always have to fight for you and you're not fighting for me?
Wow.
You're not fighting for the relationship. I'm the only one with the sword and the shield in my hand, ready to go to battle every day. And here's the thing, though, Charles, that's kind of blowing my mind with this whole situation. And again, I understand where he is. Where he is.
Yeah.
I'm having to fight with you in order to keep you with me. I gotta fight you
to keep you with me. Wow. That's exactly what's happening. He's fighting with her because he clearly loves her. And I promise you, I feel like he kind of thinks that, you know, she's this attractive girl. And he's like, again, he's not an ugly guy. He's a tall guy. He's a big guy, but he's not an ugly guy. So he got personality. So he can get somebody. But I think beyond whatever it is with this girl, he's really affixed to her. I just wish she came into the barbershop, but she didn't. But anyway, I was like, can you just sit over there while we get the haircut and talk today? But anyway, so I was just like, come on, like, because it's like to have a man, I'll tell anybody, to have a man at the place of mind to say, I'm going to get a ring, whether it's a healthy proposal or not, or I'm going to do it, that is paramount. Right. So he's there. So the point is, he's there. Apparently there's nothing in his way to stop him, but the reality of what's happening. And he needs to look at that. I almost feel like he's doing it to call himself circumventing what else he thinks she's doing or what she is doing. Like, I'm going to do the bigger thing, and that'll wipe out all of these other little small things, these conversations she's had. And it's not going to happen like that. The conversations will continue. The flirting will continue. The prison calls will continue to come in. You understand what I'm saying? So unless he makes that stand to let her know, listen, this is where I am. This is where I stand with you. I know I'm this kind of man to you. So it's either we're gonna meet in the middle and come to a compromise, a peace with one another, or we need to think about something else. But because this whole, like you hit it on the nail, this whole chasing you to love me thing is crazy.
It's crazy. And that's not the way it's supposed to work. It's not the way it's supposed to work. Listen, real quick. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna try to be quiet about it the rest of the time. The reality is, and again, I understand where he is because he's bonded to her. He's tied to her. As Bruce would say, it's a soul tie. He's
soul tie, yeah.
He is. And so he doesn't know how to break it. He doesn't know how to escape from it. Here's the thing, though. He doesn't even know that he's tied to her in the way that he is. He doesn't realize how deep the tie is, and he doesn't realize that he needs to break it. Because the reality is, everything that's happening is to his detriment. Wow. This is eroding him on the inside. This is breaking his soul on the inside to continually have to pursue this thing over and over again. It's breaking him, but he doesn't realize that it's breaking him. He thinks that this is the way that it's supposed to be. And again, I've said it time and time and again, when you don't have a normal model of a relationship in terms of how a relationship should look, you'll go after whatever you think it should look like. And it'll be the abnormal of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And so there's got to be a shift in his mind, in his thinking, in his psychology as to how he thinks about the relationship.
It's really.
I'm gonna say it like this. I remember being in the spot where I was making a decision that I thought was best for everybody involved.
Wow. Okay.
And I was willing to put everything into it that I needed to put into it.
Wow.
But I remember having a wake-up call because the other person was not on the same page with me.
Yeah.
And even though I went ahead and moved forward with what I had planned to do,
anyway, on
the other side of that, I realized that this other person was not with me in terms of doing this. Wow. And so I had to pay the price for not realizing that they were not on the same page. They weren't.
Wow.
Now, in all of my doing and all of my loving and all of my caring and affection and having good intention, that was all there. But the other person, but no matter how much intention I had, no matter how much affection I had, no matter how much love I had, if the other person was not on the same page with me, no matter what I did, it would not have made a difference. Yeah. They were not on the same page with me. And ladies and gentlemen, hear me real good. If that person that you are in a relationship with is not on the same page with you, if they're not with you, if they're not walking with you, if they're not putting in 100 like you're putting in 100, you need to put the brakes on that. You need to seriously put the brakes on that, because whatever you're going to do is going to be to your detriment. It's not going to be to your benefit. I guarantee you that. You don't want to go down that road. It's a hard road. Again, I'm Charles. Talk to your brother, man.
I know, man. Yeah, it gets me every week. I'm just talking to him because I think what it is you know how women will say a lot of times a person can look, because he's a big guy, even though he's funny and he's humorous. But if he didn't smile, you look at him, he's just like a big bouncer, right? But he's like a big teddy. But talking to him, you can clearly see his teddy bear like. His statue compared to how he feels about her. Like he melts at her phone call. He drops it all to do whatever.
And she knows
that's
this.
Not a bad. Yes,
she knows this.
Yes,
and she uses this against him.
Yeah,
she manipulates him. She controls him. That's what's happening here. He doesn't realize that, again, this is a soul tie. She literally has him under her thrall or under her control. Wow, and he is oblivious to this. He has got to wake up and see this, because I guarantee you there's going to come a day when she completely breaks it off, and he is going to be devastated.
Devastated, absolutely, because
He's gonna be
he's
devastated.
in it, and the fact that I tried to piece it together, but the stuff that you're saying is bringing so much light to it. But the thing is, he's feeling the way he does about her, even to the point of saying, I'm going to get engaged to her. But you're still stuck with this unhappiness. Something is unbalanced. Now, I'm not saying people have to be happy every day, because you're not. But it's not gonna constantly be a dark cloud, right? It's like he's loving on one side, but a dark cloud on the other side, because there's something he's not either telling or he's lacking. So he has this disdain for the relationship, but he doesn't want to leave, right? He's there. So it's kind of crazy, man. But
oh man,
it's really crazy.
I'm praying for my brother, man, because I'm telling you, there's gonna come a day when she's gonna be like, okay, I got all I want to get. Be gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when he walks into the barbershop to cut your hair, you're going to see it on his face. He is going to be devastated on the inside.
Wow.
Because he's put everything into it. He's put everything. And here's the thing. Listen. When a man finds a woman that he wants to be with, there is absolutely nothing that man will do for her. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I tell you, it was funny because I remember having a conversation with my wife earlier in our dating relationship, when I told her, I said, you don't realize how much power you have right now when you're dealing with me. You don't realize how much. Yeah, Bruce, you're right. It's being he's
it really is. Yeah, I promise you.
Real thing. When a man finds a woman that he loves and that he wants, there are no lengths that he won't go to do for her.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And that's what I mean. Let's put it like this: when love comes on the scene, love is willing to do whatever it needs to get that other person in.
Wow.
The question is, does the other person love in the same way?
To reciprocate.
So if I love you 100, you can't come in loving me at 75. Wow. You can't come in loving at 85. You got to come in loving 100 all the way. Otherwise, it's going to be an imbalance. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way that we both got to be in this. We both have to be in this. You got to be whipped, and I got to be whipped. We both got to be whipped.
That's it. No, that's it. But see, this comes from people, and you want to say, I don't want to make it like a game, but in a way, you have to force yourself to reserve yourself. And what I mean when I say that, I don't care if you connect with a person. Listen, I know for the people, for the saints listening, if premarital sex is your thing, okay, if that's your thing, if you are engaging and if you're meeting someone and you falling in love and all of those things, if it happens, you might say to yourself, oh my goodness, this is the best cornbread and grits I ever had, whatever, right? But you have to be responsible enough to be temporal with it, meaning you can enjoy it, but don't lay it all out there, because when you lay it all out there, not everybody is responsible enough to handle you the way you need to be handled. Some people, the minute you tell them that, oh, I'm finna finesse you good, because that's all anybody wants to know. My work is good. If your work is good, I can work you. So you got to understand. So people have to say to themselves, it's okay to like something, but you got to have a person that cares enough about you not to use you. If not, the minute you lay all that out there about how you feel, because let's be honest, anybody pursuing anybody is always looking for a way in. And one of the most overwhelmingly strong ways is intimately. And so once you get the intimate, I do, you good. Now the rest of it is just, let's go ahead and run this on out. You understand what I'm saying? And so you have to be able to have some sort of self-control to be like, yeah, it's fine, but I'm not finna do all of this, because this ain't about to be a whole circus. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think too, just along with that, I think it's important, like you said, that you don't throw it on them all at one time.
Throw it on, over time, ration a little bit.
You ration it out.
Ration it out.
as we're walking through this relationship with one another, I'm looking at you to find if there's anything I should be cautioned about or I should be concerned about. I'm looking for red flags as we go along. So that way I'm not caught unawares as to your behavior. But once I see that you are trustworthy, that I can trust you with myself, that I can actually, begin to believe that if I put myself out there, you're going to reciprocate back toward me. I'm going to get to a certain point when I say, you know what? I'm going to take a chance and believe and hope that you feel the same way I do. So that when I say it, you'll say it back to me. And see, this is the thing that you kind of, and again, it's not really a game as much as it is being able to discern and understand, okay, who you are and who you have shown yourself to be as we have walked along in this relationship. So the further we walk along, the more I should know you and know about you to the point when I begin to understand who you are, I can go, okay, either I'm going to put myself out there, or I've gotten enough information to say, I can't do it because you haven't shown yourself to be trustworthy enough. And I think sometimes what happens is a lot of us are or we act oblivious to what we see, because what we see in the physical side of it is so appealing to us that we're willing to ignore the emotional side and the intellectual side, oral side of it, just to the physical side of it. But we got to put our eyes on, ladies and gentlemen, and we got to see people for who they are, not who we want them to be. If you're behaving in a certain way, then I got to take note of that for future reference, so that when I make the decision to put myself out there, I'll actually know whether or not it's going to be worth me putting myself out there or not. It's a calculated risk. I got to calculate in my mind. I've already seen, so that way when I put myself out there, I'll know what I'm going to get back from you. And I'm hoping that you need to show this to your brother when you talk to him.
Yes. Hey, this is why the intimate exchange is so important to consider before you engage. Because can you hear me?
Yeah, you're okay so far.
For men, because we are so visual. So you take visual plus intimacy. A man can begin to feel like, oh, you the one. I think I'm in love. And he's really not in love yet. He's just, the dots have connected to him the way he was created. He's created to adore anatomy, all of the beauties of flowers of a woman, all of that. So when you get that in front of a man, and you add the woman reciprocating that she's giving him, liking him, and then on top of it is intimacy, and you like what you see, those snapshots will break a man down. And when I say snapshots, men can see certain things about a woman that he likes or he's attracted to intimately, and it never leaves his brain. And it doesn't leave his brain because he's visual. We are gifted with vision. So when he sees this, he's like, oh, he can't unsee it. He like, that's oh man. So he's focused on that. And because we're not female, who a woman can see a man and say, girl, he's fine and he's good looking, and that'll get her attention. But what hooks her is, what about the good looks has some provision, some security, and the ability to show me what's next. See, that's what gets them. They can like us, but they're not going to be all enthralled like we are. Because that's who we are. We're visual creatures. So when that happens to us, we find ourselves, you'll hear more men being teased about being whipped than you will women. And you will see some, because girls will say, I won't say the name, but women will say, girl, you must be blank baptized. That's what they'll say. Women will say that. But it certainly happens. But it definitely happens to me more on the male side. Men will be whipped quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. But here's the thing, though, Charles, because often what happens is when you get to that part of it, Lord have mercy, here we go. When you get to that part of it in terms of them sharing themselves physically, what happens is that becomes an experience. That becomes a memory.
Yeah. Yes.
And it becomes lodged in your brain. And so whenever you think about her, you think about the experience you had with her and how she made you feel. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's something that you carry with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, in the context of a good relationship, that is the way that it's supposed to work. That when I'm with my wife and when I'm with her, we create memories that stick with us, that fortify the commitment that we have to each other.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to do that for one another. But the flip side of that is the fact that often, because we aren't in parameters that we should be in terms of being in wholesome, holistic relationships, and we give ourselves to each other physically before we've really made a commitment to one another. Now that memory becomes a liability, because now that memory can be manipulated and weaponized against you to get from you whatever they want to get from you. You see what I'm saying? And so now you got to be careful because of the fact that now that they've given themselves to you physically and you've got this memory in your head, whenever they call you, whenever they text you, you're at their beck and call because this memory is playing in your mind. This experience that you had is playing. Exactly. It's got you playing. It's in your mind now. And so now all you can do is operate off of that. But there's no commitment to this. There's no covenant with this. There's no dedication and devotion to this. This is basically me getting from you whatever I want, whenever I want it, because I got this thing playing in your mind now. You see?
Wow. That's deep. Hey, listen, we're right here at basically at the top of the hour, the second half. So let's go ahead and make good of the second half. So, Mr. Ford, I know y'all, we got you. You want to go ahead and read it real quick, then let's run on through this.
Okay, here we go. All right.
You want to keep preaching? You want to keep preaching? All right, fine. We just preach.
We can segue.
Let's segue. Come on.
You can take it tied in. Okay, here we go. I'm going to read it. Okay, welcome to a world where loyalty has been auctioned off in lieu of opportunity and love outbidded by the person willing to meet the need of the moment. Sounds crazy, you say. It would appear that our loyalty, commitment, and even some of our vows have gone from the place of concretely devoted allegiance to an auction block sold to the highest bidder that's willing to pay our various ransoms, the things that we're asking for. So the question of the hour is, have we become human merchandise with price ranges fixed to our person, or will we fight for what's still right in that of organic love?
Wow. All right. So in short, what we're talking about is an era of opportunistic dating, loving, and even marriage. And I was telling this even before we started the show is today, it almost feels like we have migrated away from the days where relationships or marriages have never been perfect, but they were, at least they appear to be more concrete, more serious, more something to build towards. Nowadays, it almost feels like, I was saying also to Adam, if you think about when we go to the store, we can buy a pair of shoes, we can buy a suit, a shirt, whatever it is that we find nice at the store at the beginning of the relationship. We bring it home and we intend on wearing it or whatever because we like it. So the first thing we do, if we like it, here's the key, and intend on keeping it, we remove the tags. Nowadays, what we are doing ourselves is getting into relationships, getting into marriages, becoming engaged, and not removing the tags. Not removing the tag says, I might take it back. I might wear it a few times and then try to get a refund, right? But we're saying, in short, I'm really not committed all the way, although I'm here. but I'm not committed. So this is what's happening in all around the country, around the world. People are in relationships, in dealings, but are brandishing a tag. And when you brandish a tag, you're open for somebody to come in and inspect the merchandise. Like a store. If I go in the store and it's on the rack, it might be, you ever went somewhere sometimes and you'll be like, oh, this is nice. Oh, that's not for sale. But you'll say, got a tag on it. I know, but we got that different now. We're going to move it out of here. You want to say, well, why is it here? Right? You got a tag on it. It shouldn't be out here. But this is the concept, how we are in life. We are places that we already have been bought, so to speak, committed to, married, in a relationship with. But we are out saying, somebody going to come up to you and be like, oh, yeah, I mean, you kind of nice. Let me see that sticker right there. Oh, 2 kids, nice job, so-and-so. All right. I'm just making an example, but you're saying in so many words, are you open to be open? And if you're open to be open, folks are willing and ready to play ball. It's almost like, can you find loyalty anymore? Like, we are so tied to our emotions. You get on my nerves, I'm going to call this person. You make me mad, I'm going to text this person. You do this, I'm going to let them DM me. Somebody want to take me out. Are you committed? Committed to discuss things, work through things. I mean, it's unrealistic to think you're going to get the best out of someone and still. Am I being stuck?
Yeah, you stuck. We can hear you, but your video was stuck.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Are you saying to yourself? That I can be this person, do all of these things, but at the same time, I can have my cake and eat it too? That's not realistic. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think this is an interesting topic because the auction block for me conjures up different things, okay, or whatever like that. But I definitely get the idea of having a piece of merchandise, maybe a piece of clothing, a shirt, pair of pants, still having the tag on it, trying to, you wear it and it still has the tag on it, which means a couple of things. Here we go. So did you, if you didn't purchase it, which means you probably shoplifted it from the store. You didn't pay full price. You didn't pay full price for what you have on. You want everybody to think you paid full price for what you have on, but you didn't pay. You actually stole it from the store, and you still got the tag on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one scenario. The other scenario is you did buy it, you left the tag on it because you have the intentions of just wearing it maybe 1 or 2 times and then returning it to the store to get your money back, which might mean in these first 2 instances that you actually cannot afford what you want. You can't really afford.
That's a whole nother side. You really can't.
You can't afford what you want. You like it. It may or may not look good on you, but you cannot really afford this. But you walk around like you got it. You act like you got it. Like you put on a show like you got it like that. But when in reality, come that Wednesday, you done took the thing back. It's still on. The tag is still on it, and you still got the receipt, so you can get your money back. What are we talking about?
Ooh, now that's a whole nother angle of it. To say basically you're showing up to something that you really can't afford to pay out.
You can't afford.
You really can't. You can't afford to, and it has nothing to do with saying you're in a relationship with someone that you can't afford their taste physically. What I am saying is emotionally, and just like just like integrity wise, all sorts of things, you fall short, right? But you're good at pandering, but you're not good at delivering. So what you do is you present the alternative, which is, let me fake it till I make it, right? So let me go in here and buy and keep the tags on there. But that's a very empty existence, right? To live out a life where you just faking it to make it and being, for the most part, pretentious in your relationship. I mean, the person doing it, it doesn't even make you happy. It keeps you miserable, pretending like to pretend to like somebody, to pretend to, when it gets to the point where I love you, I love you too. You're pretending because it's really not there. You don't have the money to buy the love, right? If we're talking psychologically, you don't have it, but you can tell it because it sounds good. So nobody's going to turn me away from it, but I do love you, but you don't, right? So at the end of the day, it's just that we got to say to ourselves, listen, if you are walking around in an opportunistic spirit, you're not content with anyone you're with. Contentment says, I'm here, even if I'm not even married yet, even if we're at the point where we're going there, but I'm here with you because this is where I want to be. I don't have anywhere else I desire to be, nor do I desire to walk around open to a bunch of suitors. It's just really chaotic. When you keep, the more you add on something else to your plate, you got to go down the spiel again. Well, I like to do this, and I think I'd like to do it. It's just over and over the same thing. And then at the end of the day, here comes the intimacy conversation. Oh, what you looking for? It's tiresome. Either like who you are with and say, I'm going to see this through, or say, you know what, right now, I'm really not in a committed headspace. So I don't really want to be tied down to anyone and live your best life. But if you want to say that you are in something and I deserve to be treated a certain way, then that loyalty must be paramount. You can't walk around. I always say this, Adam. I used to say this on the old show, but nobody wants to pay for anything that somebody else gets for free.
No doubt.
Nobody, no man or woman wants to put in all of this work. And then here goes the person who don't do nothing, treat you like crap under their shoe, and you run to their house. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to love someone optimally to the point, and the other person, and you see them, the other person pull up, then I tell you, get outside. This man, come on, we ain't going out. I want to go to the restaurant. Shut up, go in there and cook. Okay, but with you, I need to go to the steakhouse. No, you need to go in there and cook with Rah-Rah. Go head on in there with Rah-Rah because that's what you like. So the point is, we got to be realistic with this stuff and stop pretending. Don't make yourself adapt to a certain person or personality or whatever. If that's not your organic stronghold, if that's not the thing that's going to hold you centered, don't fake it. Don't fake it, because eventually it's going to show up that you can't afford it and you probably don't even belong there. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you. And that's the thing, though, Charles. So we find ourselves trying to purchase items from the store, but we just don't have the currency to be able to afford it. We don't have the emotional currency. We don't have the intellectual currency. We don't have the spiritual currency. We don't have the relationship currency or the commitment currency to be able to go to the checkout counter and purchase the product legitimately. So here, like I said, we got those two instances where either we're shoplifting it, we're stealing it, okay, which means we definitely don't have any currency to spend at all to be able to afford what we want, or we're almost like we're trying to rent that item, that clothing. We're trying to rent it out we're leasing it out. We're taking it out for a spin. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the way this works. In order for you to be successful in your relationship, you have to have the currency it requires in order for it to work. You can't operate in your relationship at a deficit. And many of us are operating in deficits. We're operating in the negative. We're in the red. We don't have enough emotional currency or commitment currency or intellectual currency or spiritual currency to be able to fund and finance this relationship. If we give our bodies and we give our money and we do this and we do that, that makes it work. That's not all of it. That's a small aspect of it. What about who you really are? What about what direction you want to go in your life 5 years from now? What about your health? What about your mental welfare? The reality is we don't want to admit that we can't afford it.
Wow, that's deep. That's it. And the thing of it is, you touched on something now, because one of the cheapest things we have to offer is our sexuality. Sexuality alone is one of the cheapest things you can offer, right? I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it's a two-edged sword, because in the rightful place of coveted, it is an amazing attribute, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But as a tool, it's an empty offering at best.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I tell people all the time, because we have this weird way of thinking, oh, if Pastor Jason would just give me a chance, I will turn his word. You will do no such thing. Listen, do you understand that grown folks in life have been there and done just about all of that, right? Been there, done that, whether in marriage, not in marriage, in sin, not in sin, before you got out of school, whatever. Folks have been out here doing them, whether they pretend and act like they have it or not, they have. So the point I'm saying is, gone are the days of people feeling like you can weaponize yourself,
right,
to become the opportunistic king or queen of controlling folks. It don't work like that. You can try all you like, folks. You can try to put your legs by the ceiling fans. The men can take all the pills to think you're gonna be up 24 hours. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's tinkling brass. It doesn't matter. It's an empty action. I'm telling you, good sex without how do I say it? Good sex without the proper ingredients of a great relationship is just an empty exercise. And when you are done, listen, I don't know about women, but sex that doesn't have any feeling, the absolute minute a man is finished, he like, oh, okay, what you ready to do? All right, then. He done. It's over in the moment. But if he's in love, or if he loves the person, the act could be over and he could lay there the whole weekend. Look at TV, Tubi and finish, Netflix and chill, whatever. But anyway, church and laugh, whatever you want to do. You'll have fun, right? Doing all that. But if you aren't there with the person, there's no connection. Oh, the job is done. The need is met. Now you can be removed. That's the truth of the matter. Women do the same thing. Women will say, well, I got to get up for work. If they don't rock with you like that, they're going to say they got to get up for work and they got something to do just like a man. So, but we all know the people that we have had them interactions in life, and you don't want the person to go nowhere, right? It just happens. But it all depends on connection. And we got to be honest with ourselves. And like I said, just circling it all back at the end of the day, if you're going to be in relationship, if you're going to be in commitment, close off those maybe so doors. Stop being in a relationship and having an active dating profile. Stop being in a relationship and letting your friends continue to take you to all the popular and hidden spots where all the beautiful people are that you know you're going to get tempted to talk and add more to your plate. Well, I got somebody, but you can follow me on Instagram. Well, I got somebody, but I mean, we friends. I'm not married yet, so we can still go to brunch. Y'all gonna be in Vegas for the fight, or I meet you out there. All these crap and these tricks that we fool ourselves into thinking we're being innocent, but we're not. We're being deliberately ensnared, and we're entrapping people to file them away in our cabinets of options. We have a filing system that we keep close, so we need to pull out the necessary records when we need to. We pull them out, and that's an unrealistic way of living. I had to learn that, Adam.
Wow.
I probably was the king librarian, but anyway, you have to learn that. I promise you. Listen, what I had to learn is what I thought was the ultimate exercise of psychological protection. Ended up being the detriment that robbed me from what I rightfully deserved in that of organic love, right?
Okay.
When you think that you can just have options, and what that does, it keeps you neutralized to everybody else you're dealing with. You might deal with 10 people and you just cool with everybody and you cool on everybody. You're not going to make me mad. You ain't going to make me mad either. Or I don't care what you say. I see you on Saturday. You don't care because you're so widespread, right? But yeah, you might have these people and you're calling yourself avoiding being hurt. But in the long haul, you're robbing yourself of that beautiful feeling of being in love with an isolated person of interest.
Wow.
Someone that you said, I'm with you because we vibe. I really feel this with you and I want to take this to wherever it goes. Right. There's no feeling like that feeling. But when you got to play and lie, remember all your stories and, yeah, and yeah, okay, no, I can't do that, but I'll think about it. All that kind of stuff, it's just, it don't do nothing. It's a very, very empty existence. Yeah. Now, you might put some nachos on your belt. But other than that, that's about it. It's empty experience at best. Tell them, Bruce, it's empty. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You just gotta think about that because it's always something out here to allure us, tempt us. Because nowadays we feel we have gotten to the place in life now. We expect not to go through anything. We expect not to be disappointed, not to be not to have our date rescheduled, not to not be helped. Nowadays, you gotta be approved through American Express to date, because nowadays people expect you to be a bottomless repository of their needs. Right. That's the expectation out here nowadays. And so the thing is, look, you find the person that works for you, because this unrealistic style of dating and loving and marrying that we have adopted today is tearing us apart, because it's not realistic. It's not realistic to think that you can I'm only going to be as relevant to you as I feel you are compliant to me. If you're not compliant to me, my options will remain open. I'm still going to talk to these people. I'm still going to go out. And I may even have sex if I feel like it. Well, you need to go on somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? Go on, because we have, this is why, folks, this is why mental illness is at an all-time high. Folks are having nervous breakdowns because people cannot handle the jolt that comes with these swift decisions that people make when they lead you in one direction and then cut the cord. You're thinking they like you all like that. You done been intimate. You done took them to your Thanksgiving, your family, or this, everybody, your friends have met them and all this kind of stuff. And then a person, I mean, we cool, but I just, I just kind of want to do some other things. This is not really it. You're like, wait, you didn't say that last week. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, you're a good person. What? So that's what I'm saying. This is where we are today. We are at the place, we are literally on the auction block. And it's the world is basically happening like this. Hey, Adam, you and so-and-so, we great. But when you separate, and we got a girl over here, she's over so-and-so, and she said she only got one kid, but she will have sex all day with you. She don't be that talented in the bed, but she got money, but she got it. This is what's happening in the world today. And we listening. I take that one. All right, bet. Got that. You wait over here. Now I'm married, but I want you to be the perfect standby. Or I'm in a relationship, but when my guy is gone, I can see you. I got a lot of time because I'm not with him all the time. So this is where we are, Bruce. I mean, we in a crazy place, man. I'm telling you, we're in a really crazy place.
I don't even know what to say behind that.
We're in a crazy place. I promise you. Everybody is open. I've never seen a more open time in my life. I could go into the store. I went into the store earlier today to get me something to eat. Girl was in there with her guy, plain and simple. He with her. It wasn't he had a ring. She had a ring. Only thing I was doing was asking the lady questions about the menu. I wasn't saying nothing unique or different. But the man, this is how we are, Adam. The men are always the one who feel, well, this is my wife, and I
Right.
got her sold up in the bag. She ain't going nowhere. Now he's standing in front of her. They're both standing adjacent to me. He's closest to me. She's behind him. All I'm doing is asking the lady about the thing, and he called himself. He's saying, "Oh man, you got to get them ribs. You got to do this, that, and now mind you, he doing all the talking.
Right.
The wife is talking about some. She looking up and down, looking at me, and she ain't say a word, but her eyes see everything. Oh, she up and down, looking at my shoes, looking up, and I'm just like, wow, like I would be upset if I'm married and I catch my wife really staring at a dude. I'm like, seriously? Like, you know, that's some crazy stuff. So this is what I mean when I say that that right there, even though he wasn't looking, the act itself was very disrespectful. Just the act of it was disrespectful. And it said a lot. She didn't have to say nothing. But what that told me is if he go to the car and wait on the food, and I say, hey, put your number on my phone, you're going to do it.
Right.
So this is where we are today. And we just got to, you know, we got to let people know it don't matter how fine you are. It doesn't matter how much pull you feel like you can have out here. Right. If you are committed, the most attractive thing is no. Right. Telling a man or woman no, I'm sorry, sweetheart. Appreciate the compliment, but I'm with this person. That's not only is it attractive, but it's respectful and it carries it a long way. When you kind of like, you trying to get me in trouble. He in the car. Look, you got a person. How are you in trouble by saying no? You're in trouble because you are tempted to flirt. Yeah, that's why you in trouble. Because you all that saying you trying to get me in trouble. I mean, oh my God, I don't got time for y'all dudes play too much. What you gotta do? Stop. You play too much. Woo, that happened to me one time. I was just like, what? So yeah, I was like, well, don't you got to do it in the car? I was this is confused. But this is my point. This is where we are. We're so easy to go to the other side just because of what we think. People can have a life with a person, and maybe the life may not be. This is one of the famous things. You know, I didn't sign up to live like this. I thought we was going to be living a certain way. But if you love him or her and you're committed to one another, even this is what is called better on the high roller side or worse when one of us lost a job or both of us lost. You know, that's what that is. So it doesn't mean because better isn't apparent that worse is so unattractive that I gotta now open myself up to the auction block because I ain't signed up for this. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta Brucey, that's why you gotta pimp him. That's why we gotta. This is crazy, man. It's killing us. That's one of the biggest things is just people closing that self door. Stop leaving the door of you open and close it. Yeah. People are looking and acting the way they are towards you and not respecting you because they can. Let me tell you something. Any man can walk into a room if he's a player or an opportunistic. He knows every woman in that room, whether you were a guy or not, that will go. And so does a woman. A woman that is opportunistic to take your guy, she know the woman that's uptight and rigid, the one that's probably not doing whatever at home that he likes. She can tell by the way he's looking at her. Yeah. So my point is, you got to close that door of you. Yeah. Close it. We all know how to lock the door at home. Lock you up. Stop leaving yourself open, but pretending your relationship. But you're just waiting for the next best thing to come. I'm only saying these things add up because I've done them, but I'm saying it's not a healthy existence. You got to close the door of you. You can't have it all. You can go into any grocery store you want and bring all the stuff to the front. But if that baggage clerk put too much in that bag, the minute you go outside, it's gonna bust at the seams. And guess what? You're gonna get caught up. You're gonna be there. You lie, you play games. You know what? I don't got time for that anymore, Adam. So yeah, you know, we gotta close us up, man. Close us up and show up different, show up better than what we have. That's all.
I mean, man, you done said it. I'm looking at the comments. I don't know how you did it, but you got me in trouble. I'm over here minding my business. I wasn't bothered.
What Maria do? What's wrong now?
I wasn't bothered. You look
right.
at the comments. Look at the comments. You'll see. But anyway.
That's right. Get him, Maria. Get him, Maria. He talking trash on here. No, I'm playing. But yeah, seriously, no, that's what's up. But I'm telling you, now I can say this. Listen, I will honestly say now, Maria, don't fight us. This is just us having our little banter. Okay, man. Now, Adam and I have certainly joked, played with each other, act silly. We've talked about certain things and, whatever. But one thing I will say, I have had my times where I'm sure Adam has witnessed the open Charles. But what I will say is when I have hung around with Adam and talked to him, I don't care if we both saw somebody walk by that we both could have clearly said, dang, right?
Right.
Be that in the moment, joke. We may joke and laugh in the moment, but Adam still will wear the closed face. I give him that. He was good at the closed face. Even when we worked together years ago, we would joke about people we saw that worked with us that we might have thought was attractive. He may say, "Oh yeah, they're attractive." Zip, close. I'm like, dang, be open, man. Anyway, so sometimes don't leave me by myself out here. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, but the point I'm saying is, I believe that's what helped him. We both got help in different ways. I got help through learning. He got help through being definitive. But at the end of the day, we both learned. You understand what I'm saying? It's just, we just learned different ways. You understand what I'm saying? That's all.
No doubt.
But yeah,
no doubt.
This is actually a good show. Yeah.
Now you want to comment? We ain't got that in
Good
yet.
show, man.
No, I guess my thing too is the fact that I've never thought of myself as being on the auction block. So I've never treated anybody else like they were on the auction block or they were something that I could or could not afford. I treated people like people, and the reality is, Charles, I want a trouble-free life. I want a drama-free life. I don't want all that extra baggage and dealing with this and dealing with that. And, oh, my man, he got the side eye. He looking at her. He looking at her. He looking at her. He looking at her. No, bro.
Yeah.
No. I want I want to be able to live at peace with all men, especially the one that I'm committed to. I want to be able to live at peace with my woman. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I'm telling you, man.
I think the reality is that when we are committed to somebody, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. And it's not that I don't see other people. I see the people.
Yeah.
I see them walking up and down. I see them looking at me.
Maria, you heard of Maria. That's right. No, I'm teasing. Go ahead. But yeah.
I'm already in trouble. So what?
But no, that's real talk.
I'm just not going to allow that to dictate my behavior. I'm not going to allow that to override what I know to be right and what I know to be correct. Because I have a commitment not only to my woman, but I have a commitment, first of all, to God, and I have a commitment to myself.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we undersell the value of being true to yourself and of understanding that you are worth more than just a cat call. You're worth more than just a side look. You're worth more than just somebody looking you siding you up and down like a piece of meat. You're worth more than that. And when I see myself being worth more than that, then I don't sell myself short on the auction block to any old body who comes around. But they have to be worth my time just like I'm worth their time. And so that's how I work. That's how I move. That's how I navigate. And I mean, again, I don't want no trouble. I don't want no problem. I want no trouble.
Right. That's all it is. It's trouble.
It's trouble.
That's all it is. It's trouble. At the end of the day,
they look nice and they look at you and they wink their eye at you. It's trouble.
Yeah. But dude, listen, one of them old scriptures that I used to always look at when I used to read back and forth through the Bible as a kid was that one where it talks about, where it's not the full scripture, but it makes a reference about it being like these things that you're speaking of, they are vanity and vexation of spirit. Like it's vain to be stuck in the mode of having to have these connections and all of these ordeals. But at the end of the day, it's going to be turmoil for your inner man, right? Absolutely. It's turmoil for who you are in the spirit realm. And so it doesn't, we can pretend, but it tears you, it takes something from you spiritually when you continue to go when you hear no. You know, when God talks to you, you hear no. Yeah. Don't go. I don't think you should entertain this one. Don't do this. Yeah, but I mean, you see your bow legs, Lord. And you go and do what you do. And then you come back and you just like, you're probably right. I wouldn't have got this 18 stitches. Whatever the point is, he tries to help us and we go anyway. What does the Bible say? It says, a prudent man foreseeth evil, but the simple pass on and are punished.
Wow.
God knows I've been simple for a season. So I had to wake up and reopen my prudency so that I could come back to being a wiser man. But when you're being foolish, you're going to be led astray. So yes, that's it. So you got to ask yourself, am I being prudent today or foolish? You know, what am I being? What are my decisions saying that I am? Because the decisions say who you are for you. That's it.
But you know what, Charles? Let's be honest with that. Let's be real. Let's have an honest moment right here. Often, many of us are led astray by what we see.
That's it.
But we don't take the time that it requires to actually think through that process, think through that scenario, far enough into that scenario to realize that this is not for me.
Yeah.
Why should I, again, sell myself less than what I'm actually worth?
That's it.
Why should I put myself in a position where I will be depreciated and undervalued for what I really am worth? And I think often of us, we don't think about that when it comes to that moment when they catch your eye and you catch their eye and there's that little spark or whatever like that. And but it's not lasting. It's fleeting. It's ephemeral. It does not last forever. It's gone because there's no commitment there to sustain it. And again, I wish that we would learn the discipline of being able to understand that whatever God has for me is for me in terms of who the person is. You know what I'm saying? And be able to embrace that. You know what I'm saying? And often it might mean you have to say several no's before you actually get to an actual yes. And that yes actually be the person for you. But in order to get to that yes, there are several no's you got to get through before you
get to that yes.
Yeah.
And I think another important aspect to all of us to remember, when we think of the auction block, if you think about life years ago, many of us have known someone who had a dealer's license, or back in the day, Adam, when they could say, let's go to the auction and get a car.
Right.
Every time you go to the auction, you gotta go with the mindset that something is already wrong. It's always something already. It's gonna when you come from the auction, the auction experience, you go there and see so many cars and they look nice, but it almost has you saying, why are they here? And what has not been disclosed about their real condition. So the thing about the auction is it's a gamble. Sometimes you might get a good car that requires minimal tweaking to get it right, as they say. But in a lot of times, it's always the moniker of the auction block is as is. So you got to say to yourself, am I built to handle as is? If I'm not, I better stick in the surety lane. But that's what comes with the auction block is as is. You don't know what you're going to get. Although if you may think you left out there with the deal of a century and they get home and the transmission drop out. So
But see, Charles, that's the reason why whenever you go to those auction dealers that you have to take a mechanic with you or a friend that knows something about cars. Because if I go to the place where they auction off cars and I don't know anything about cars and I'm looking at the car from the outside, I can't detect any problems.
That's because it looks good. When you start up, it sounds good.
It's not until I get my mechanic friend to do an assessment as to the actual condition of the internals of the car, that I'm able to make a decision as to whether or not if I'm going to purchase this car. So I have to assess this. And I think that's what we've been saying all along, that we really need to take the time out in terms of those who we are dealing with, that we assess them, assess their behavior, assess their how they treat you, assess them in terms of their response to you, assess them in terms of how much time they actually spend with you, how much investment they make in you. And then by that assessment, we're able to determine whether or not you are worth the risk of me putting myself out there for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good stuff, man. All right. Hey, well, we appreciate y'all for tuning in today to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio, where we talked about the, basically the auction block of love. What are we going to do about that? Are we going to remain opportunistic, or are we just going to let's just abandon this and let's take away. The takeaway is to close, like when you at night, most of us cut our alarms on and we lock our doors and we make sure our places where we lay our heads are bolted down. Mm-hmm. If we are in relationships, if we are in marriages, do a self-check lockdown of yourself and say, what about me is still open that I need to address? Am I talking a little too much over there? Am I responding to too many DMs? Am I flirting? Am I talking to my ex? Am I going to places where I know attractive men and women are so that I can fraternize because there's no harm in talking? What am I doing? Am I leading people in situations where I know I just want to tuck them away for a rainy day fund?
Wow.
Let's just be honest with ourselves, because a lot of times we're not being honest, and we're not talking about the elephant in the room. The devil is doing his job. He's doing his job. He is presenting eye candy everywhere. And whether it is real candy or manufactured medical candy, he's presenting it, right? Nonetheless, he's making everything appealing to the eye. And that's why so many people are falling, because the world is embellishing everything to the eye. Everybody is improving their outer self. The inner self look ugly, but the outer self is amazing. All this and chiseled and 360 curves, all of this to make the average person succumb if you're not focused. Right? If you're not focused, it's easy to succumb, but you have to be focused to say, nope, been there. I already know how the ending credits of this movie look, and I don't want to go to be playing this movie again. You know what I'm saying? So we call it that. Yeah, we hope y'all enjoyed thing, and I'm gonna talk to you about some other auctions, cars in the back on the other part. But anyway, next week, 4:30 Central Standard Time. Catch us again Thursday of next week, and then continue with weeks until anything changes on times. That's what we'll be for now. All right. God bless, and we will see you guys here soon. Let's see. All right.
Share a light.
The doors of the Love Church are now open. Dear world, you
Oh, we back now? What we doing?
Yeah, we're back to auction. All right, now we're talking about a single man. He's 35 years old. He doesn't have any kids. He goes to church, but he has a few bits of effeminate behavior, but he's ready to be married. Then we have some women on tonight that they go to church, they're in the choir, but they go to Marigolds every Thursday for happy hour margaritas, but they say they want a good man. On tonight, no, I'm just kidding. All right, no more auctioning. The auction is closed, okay? The goal, y'all, is no more auctioning. We do enough of it. That's why it's called making a decision. See, the devil gets us because he's robbing us of a decision. When we can't reach a decision, we live in mayhem. So that's the thing. Remember, can I reach a decision? If you don't reach a decision, you remain on the auction block. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to make a decision and just live with your choice and let it go.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, you got more preaching? All right, fine.
Oh, no, I was going to say something, but I don't know how to phrase it, but I'll leave it for next time.
Are you sure? Come on. Don't rob the people of a blessing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think sometimes we get these two things confused, and that is sexual currency and intimate currency. I think we often spend sexual currency expecting intimacy when in fact all you're going to get is sex, because sex is not intimacy and intimacy is not sex.
Oh, that's good.
That's
somebody need to post that. Sex is not intimacy, folks, and intimacy is not sex.
Different things. They're connected, but they're not the same.
Man. Yeah. All right. You heard it. Now, see y'all next week, and we are out.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe.